Before we start the program, I do want you to know I was trying to tune up as I was coming to Albany this morning, and I asked my wife, what should I say? And she said, well, whatever you say, be sure you know the meaning of the terms you use. Make sure you can explain what you say, and just be your normal self. So I don't know which one of those is going to work out this morning. I'm a little more nervous today than I've been in the past because my crowd has been quite a bit smaller than this. So if it sounds like my voice is breaking up, it is. You know, before we start with the program, this is a great time to be a student at an HBCU. And I know you read the paper and you watch the news and so forth and so on, but when I see hangsman's nooses on campuses, and I hear words like you can beat them, you can hang them, you can lynch them, but there'll never, never, never be an N in the SAE. I'm wondering if I wouldn't be afraid to let my children or child go to school where that kind of language is being used today. So folks, these are the kinds of things that's going on. And I say again, it's a great time to be a student or an alumni of an HBCU. First on the program is music by the ASU Faculty Jazz Band, after which we'll have welcome by Mr. Melvin Jefferson. We'll have the occasion by the Reverend Reginald Hunter. We'll have a selection by the Faculty Jazz Band, and we'll have greetings by Dr. Art Dunning, President of Albany State University, in that order.
I would like to officially welcome each and every one of you to the magnificent campus of Albany State University as we commemorate our 112th year Founders Day celebration as we honor our university's past, present, and future. We are so glad to have you here to share in our tribute to our founder as we continue to proudly fulfill our historic mission while serving as an unsinkable institution of higher learning to an increasingly diverse student population. Again, we say welcome.
Good Friday, Founders Day. What a day. I say Good Friday, Founders Day. What a day. It's a good day to be in Georgia. It's a better day to be in Dougherty County. It's a great day to be in the city of Albany. But it's an outstanding day to be on the campus of Albany State University. We pause at this hour first to recognize God, who's certainly the head of all Christian life, to his son Jesus, to our daily God, precious Holy Spirit. Two, would like to recognize our great founder who was a messenger from the Master himself. Amen. To the president of this great university, Dr. Dunning, to the president of this Alumni Association, Ms. Riggs, to our presider, to all of the other participants on the program. To each of you, it's a joy to stand before you at this hour to give our occasion for today. And our occasion is simply to celebrate our founding father, our founding president, to celebrate this great institution that was established 112 years ago. When I look at Dr. Holley, I truly believe it was a man with a vision and a man that worked hard to make sure his vision became a reality. As I think about Dr. Holley, my mind runs back to David. I truly believe that a great president of any university must have a shepherd's heart, one that loved the faculty, staff, the students, and the alumni. And I truly believe our founding father had that. And I look at our history through the years. We've had some great presidents. I truly feel that we've had some presidents that had Albany State in their heart. And we've had some Highlands in the group, but we thank God that we had great men that had a shepherd like Holley, and also a female in that group. And we'd just like to say to our current president, Dr. Dunning, we're proud of what you're doing. We truly feel that you have a shepherd's heart. So keep leading. Our prayer is that you would keep leading this university to bigger, better, and greater things. God bless you.
Y'all have to excuse me. After 2 surgeries and anticipating another one, I'm trying to remain in my seat as much as possible, and I didn't. We need to give our president it's not president time, is it? I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll do another selection, and then we'll hear from the president.
say greetings this afternoon to our alumni and guests, and welcome to the Founders Day Luncheon. We're celebrating our past, our present, and our future. In 1903, Dr. Holley took a stand, and he built something that will withstand the test of time. We are here now in the 21st century. We started this campus at the beginning of the 20th century. We've had a lot of changes. You had the civil rights movement in Albany, where many of the Albany State students participated in that march to change Albany, Georgia. We got the flood of 1994. And to the group this morning, I spoke about all of the changes that occurred in the 20th century. We had two wars, World War I, World War II. It's hard to imagine what Dr. Holley was doing here in 1917 at the beginning of World War I. How difficult that must have been with scarce resources, not enough money to do what you need to do, but he stayed the course. And then in World War II, but between those two wars you had the American Depression. And scarcity was unbelievable, so there was no money to do very much with. And then we had the Cold War going on, Vietnam, and changes in this country. All the time, Albany State was growing and developing. Along with this nation, we were making changes. So we celebrate that history. We have the opportunity to take a look back at what has happened and to really thank this man for what he did for Southwest Georgia and the state of Georgia. Early this week, I was at the Georgia State Capitol, where we celebrated ASU Day at the Capitol. We were there in our gold and our blue, and we had a chance to meet legislators. We also had a chance to thank the people who helped us get this $19.8 million building that will be the Fine Arts Building at Albany State. And one of the things we learned from this process is Dr. Holley exhibited in his life is perseverance, endurance, and hard work makes a difference. The other thing I want to highlight, and I say to everybody who is passionate about this place, it's about the students. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's about this institution that Dr. Holley built, and it's about these students. So everything we do should be to facilitate and to help them to learn and to grow and develop and to be good citizens. We had the Lady Rams to play in the SIAC championship. As I think about what I talked about this morning with the Pasadena trip, we plan to play in the big leagues at Albany State. We don't plan to play in minor league or something that's very simple. We plan to play in the big leagues at Albany State. So when this band goes to the Tournament of Roses in Pasadena, California, and be seen for 5 miles for several 100,000 people, and almost 55 million on television, that's where we belong, that's where we need to be. And we will say to you, that's going to be our goal, so that you will be pleased about this campus, be pleased about this legacy that Dr. Holley left us, and that it is not just because it's nice to do these things, but if you're doing something nowadays and you're not doing it well, you might as well not do it. And so think about that as we do our work. We have Mike Matheson and Ann Matheson here with us, and I'm so pleased that they've been able to stay the course with us this week. Because Mike, what you do when you spend time with an organization and with people, you get a sense of the rhythms of the life. You've got a sense of Southwest Georgia since you've been here. So you're going to leave here and having some perspectives and stories to tell that we all don't live in New York, California, or the Midwest. Some of us live in Southwest Georgia. And we are indeed Americans and proud of it, and we're making a difference to the young people of this state and this nation. One of the things I want to kind of close with, ASU has a lot of stakeholders, people who have a vested interest in this campus. They've invested over time, they've gone to school here. And one of the things that people may get tired of hearing me say it, but nevertheless, I'm going to continue to say it. We have support from the state of Georgia, support from the federal government, and support from student tuition. The place that I'm going to begin to say time and time again The fourth leg of that stool is people in this room. People like you, people like me, all of us who've kind of looked at our campus over the years where we've been very much state supported. In many places around this country now, we are state assisted. And that is a fundamental transition. So don't get offended when I speak to you about supporting Albany State University. Don't get uncomfortable about that, because I'm going to ask you to do that, because this is a special place. If Dr. Holley could come here in 1903 without running water and air conditioning, I surely think we can do something in 2015. So let me add my special thanks to Darrell Chapman this morning for his Founders Day talk. Dr.Culbreath. John is a person that has paid his civic rent in Albany and somebody else's too. He has been a man in this community who's done a lot of things to strengthen our community. I want to thank the ASU Founders Day Committee. I want to thank alumni, faculty, and staff. This doesn't happen without a lot of help. Dr. Holley's vision gave us this place. And one of the things that's kind of seared in my memory is I came here in 1994 when President Billy Black was the president. And down where we were this morning at the gravesite, that place was a lake. It was all underwater. All of the buildings you saw down there this morning, they were underwater. And there were people who were in pain and shock, and they were dismayed of how devastating that flood was to Albany State University. The thing that I remember, and I was in the university system office in Atlanta at the time, I truly worried about this place. But we had two men who said to their staff, Steve Porch, who was the chancellor of the system, and I was one of his senior vice chancellors, and the governor of the state, said to everybody, this place is going to be built bigger and better, and we're going to leave no stone unturned. We spent close to $150 million on this site you're sitting on today. I feel, having been here in 1994, a deep burden on my back as president of this place, not to neglect it, not to make it less than what it should be. So I'm going to ask all of you who have a vested interest, a stake in it, passionate about it, support the place, help it out, and help these students out. So I thank you for being here. This is a Founders Day that causes us to reflect, to look back, but also very much look to the future of this campus and what this nation, how it has changed and how we must change with it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. We continue at this luncheon the remembrance and celebration and recognition of Dr. Joseph Winthrop Holley for the faith that he had as a religious man, his daring in 1903, which must have been a real challenge for him. It was not the best of times in this nation, and certainly it was not the best time in this country for those citizens of color. We recognize his determination and commitment to ensure educational opportunities for the least of these. Enjoy this fellowship opportunity, the meal that will be filling and restorative, and the opportunity to hear words of wisdom and challenge from today's speaker, Dr. John W. Culbreath. Again, I extend greetings to you from the ASU National Alumni Association.
As we celebrate our founder, let us remember the man who paved the way for us. Let us celebrate him, the experiences he had, the impact he made, and the relationships he developed. For it is the strength of knowing our past that will help us continue to succeed in the future, both as individuals and as a university. Fellow alumni, faculty, staff, students, and the Albany community, we need your support, commitment, and dedication. Let us continue to build on the legacy that Dr. Holley left, because together we have one past, one future, and we are one ASU. Thank you.
If you've not finished eating, please continue to enjoy your meal and try to listen to the message and whatever else is going on at that time. But I'm kind of like you, I would want to finish my meal, and I was trying to give you that opportunity until I was called to the task. I will tell you, I just want to tell you one or two things about Albany State and me, and then I'll go to Dr. Culbreath. But when I came to Albany State, you know, a lot of people in here know what it looked like then versus what it looks like now. And this was a great looking campus compared to what it looked like in the day. Also, I do want to talk about a work experience I had. I worked 3 times a day, morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, for food. And the dietitian gave us an opportunity to do that because we needed everything we could get. But then we got fired from the job, or released, because another young lady, she was just as, she had a slackness in her substances as well. Her money was short, and she wanted to work for food. She got all of us fired because none of us should have been working for food. Now that was during the day when white bread was good. White bread is okay right now, but it was really good back in the day if you had some peanut butter and jelly. Y'all know what I'm talking about. On Sunday evenings at 5 o'clock, if you had some peanut butter and jelly, you were Johnny on the spot. I will say that I'm glad to sit on a dais with Dr. Dunning and Dr. Culbreath and our alumni president, national alumni president, Josie Riggs. It's always an honor to serve with people with whom you're looking up to and not below you. And these folk are great people, have done many great things, and I enjoy seeing them, I enjoy working with them in the interest of Albany State University. Now in your program, you saw Dr. John's bio, but I'm going to read just a little bit, and then I'm going to let him tell you the rest of the story. I really enjoy Dr. Culbreath, and as I said earlier, I enjoyed the fact that he kept telling me I was doing a good job, and I knew better, but I accept that, man. I started feeling better about myself. But I can do better. I'm not asking for another job, man. If you have your program at your leisure, read his bio, and I'm sure there are others in here who have a bio similar to Dr. John's. We've all done some good things. Some people have done some great things. But Dr. John's bio is fascinating to me because you can do a lot of things if you decide you want to and put your mind and your heart to it. As I read this, you may listen because I call myself condensing it, so everything I have on my paper may not be on yours, so you're not misreading it. I just don't have the same thing all the way. I tried to condense a little bit of it. Dr. John W. Culbreath is a native of Monroe, Georgia, where he was educated in the public schools of Walton County. He graduated as valedictorian from Carver High School in Monroe and received his BA degree in French from Albany State College. He received his master's degree in administration and supervision from Georgia State University and his doctor of education and supervision from the University, and Doctor of Education degree from the University of Georgia. He has served on the governor's closing, the Achievement Gap Commission, the Implementation Task Force, and the African American Male Initiative with the Georgia Board of Regents. He spent 6 years as a member of the Georgia Professional Standards Commission, the last 3 years as chairman. Dr. Culbreath was inducted in the Albany State University Alumni Hall of Fame in 2005. He has also been named a recipient of the University Council for Educational Administration Excellence in Education Leadership Award, as well as the Albany Rotary Club 4-Way Test Award. Georgia Association of Educators, Educational Leadership, recently awarded him the H.M. Fulbright Distinguished Service Award at his 2007 Summer Conference. Gamma Omicron Lambda, chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Incorporated named Dr. Culbreath the Man of the Year for 2007 and 2011. He is a co-founder of Strive to Thrive, an initiative designed to eliminate poverty in Dougherty County. He has served in many capacities. He served as a teacher, he served as assistant principal, he served as principal, as associate, and assistant superintendent, and superintendent of the Dougherty County school system. Dr. Culbreath is married to the former Barbara Williams, a retired middle grade teacher. They have 2 daughters and 1 son, Cynthia and Carletha, and 1 son, James. Without further delay, I'll ask first of all if we have any Alpha brothers in here, if you would please stand. Any Alpha brothers in here? You would please stand and remain standing. We want to receive Dr. Culbreath. So Dr. Culbreath, at this time, if you will come forward, I'll present you to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You may be seated. Good afternoon. First, giving honor to God, with whom nothing shall be impossible, to members of Dr. Holley's family, a continuous presence since 1903, and we certainly do appreciate your being here today. To Mike and Ann Matheson, all the way from Pasadena, California, welcome. To Dr. Dunning, President Ricks, other head table guests, fellow alumni, faculty, staff, ladies and gentlemen, I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. I included those lines to let you know whose side I'm on, just in case you did not know. But more importantly, I wanted you to know who was on my side. If it had not been for the Lord that is on my side, where would I be? In January 2015, a decree went out from President Joycia Ricks to the Founders Day Committee that this year we needed a first-rate speaker for the luncheon. The treasurer came back and said, President Ricks, from what they charge as first-rate speakers, we can't even get in the ball game. President Ricks said, get me the very best second-rate speaker you can find. The treasurer came back and said, President Ricks, they ain't that much cheaper than the first-rate speakers. As time drew near, because she's a decisive president, President Ricks told Sue Fontaine, call John. And that's what brings me here today, because I want to always do whatever I can for the institution that nurtured and nourished me. At a time when many other institutions, some of which I matriculated at later, would not let me in. Albany State let me in, and thank God Albany State let me out. One past, one future, one ASU. One past, one future, one ASU. In the context of your theme, I want to share some thoughts about this topic, and Dr. Prince Brown is going to be amazed because he talked about fire. Dr. Chapman is going to be amazed because he talked about the fire burning inside of Dr. Holley. My topic to talk about with you briefly is the torch is passed. The torch is passed. The genesis of this topic Goes back to January 20th, 1961, when I was in the 9th grade in high school. President John F. Kennedy, in his inaugural address, said, "We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage." Now let me generalize that. We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of the vision of Dr. Joseph Winthrop Holley. Let the word go forth from this place and this time to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of ASU Rams born in the previous century, tempered by a devastating flood, disciplined by harsh and bitter cuts at the state and federal level, proud of our HBC heritage, and we are unsinkable. You get the idea. In my time before you, I plan to talk about several points of that torch, and then, before too much time elapses, bring it home. My wife and I have begun to text each other, and we only use small words because we don't text well. So I'll send her a text and she'll say K. And so I got here safely and I texted and said, "I'm here." She said K. I said, "I speak at 12:30. She said B, 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 B. Now, husbands and wives have codes that only they understand. What my wife was telling me, be brief, brother, be brief. So you have her to thank for the brevity of my remarks. The 6 points of the torch that we're passing today are, and being a teacher, I'll tell you what I'm going to tell you. Then I will tell you what I meant to tell you. And then I'll tell you what I told you. So you'll hear it at least 3 times. Embrace technology and its effective use. Number 2, take charge and do right. Number 3, overcome adversity. Number 4, reclaim your health. Number 5, reclaim moral authority. And finally, so that you'll know when I get toward the end, never give up. Embrace technology, take charge and do right. Overcome adversity, reclaim your health, reclaim moral authority, and never give up. Let me pause here to quote Sir Isaac Newton. He brushed off a compliment that he had just received by saying, "If I have seen further, it's because I have stood on the shoulders of giants." And so do we all. All of those presidents that have been mentioned more than once today, all of those professors, all of those staff members, all of those fellow students who encouraged us, we stand on their shoulders. The first point of the torch is embrace technology and its effective use. Now, there are many people here who have heard me speak over and over and over again. As I saw them coming in today, I said, remember Solomon said, Mayor Hubbard, there is no new thing under the sun, no, not one. Today will not be any different, but the examples I give are brand new for you. So I want you to feel that. Embrace technology. Some of us alphas participate every week in a mentoring program to help middle school boys become better men. And I tend to lead that effort. I got the baton from Brother T. Marshall Jones, and he challenged me to don't mess this up. And I've tried, Brother Jones, to keep your legacy well and healthy. Anyhow, we usually begin with a video presentation, something inspirational to fire them up, to make them feel like they can be anything they want to be if they work hard and obey the rules. And with my technology background, you take a laptop, You hook a 9-pin connection to it. You hook that I'm already above my pay grade. You hook that 9-pin connection to this flat screen TV, and you have video. To get sound, you take 2 portable speakers, you plug them in where the headphones go on the laptop, and now you got sound. This particular day, I had forgotten my speakers, so all I had was the sound in that laptop, and I told the young men, y'all be real quiet now because I don't have much volume. Yes, sir. And one of the younger brothers, Martez Favis, I think he's in his 30s, painfully young, came up during the presentation and said, have you ever tried HDMI? And I'm in the middle of the presentation. I said, have you ever tried SHUTUP? And he reached to disconnect my connection, the only one I knew about, and I slapped his hand and went on. And the boys strained and they listened. So at the end of the presentation, he came back, and that's what I like about young people. They keep coming back. He came back and said, let me show you something. I was getting ready to slap his other hand. He plugged in the HDMI cable, and boom, I had sound and video. I said, how you do that? He said, that's the way we do it all the time. We better embrace the technology that these young people know about and learn from them. You better let them help you learn how to do your cell phone, your iPad, your iPod, and all of that, because we can't think the way we used to think. There's too much to think about. So we need to use the technology as a guide. Embrace technology. Number 2, take charge and do right. In my career, I've served in a lot of positions as assistant, associate, vice, and all the things that make you number 2. Tell some of them after it's over what that meant. So I was enjoying being the backup man, and I was listening to one of my heroes speak, General Norman Schwarzkopf, the hero of Desert Storm. I would give anything to see what Storm and Norman would do to ISIS right now, but that's a topic for another day. Anyhow, he wasn't always the general in Desert Storm. He was the number 2 man in a department in the Pentagon. And like all vice, assistants, and associates, we have a thought that we don't say out loud. I don't want anything to happen to the boss. God forbid. But if it do, I got this. President Dunning, watch him, because that's what they think about all the time. One day as he was sitting there shuffling papers, one Friday afternoon, Joe Schwarzkopf looked up and his boss was coming from the back with a clothes bag. He said, where you going? He said, I'll be gone for 2 weeks. You're in charge. He said, oh. He said, wait a minute. What if someone from Congress sends over here for some information while you're gone? What should I do? His boss said, Rule 13. He said, Rule 13, sir? Yes. Rule 13. When you're placed in a position of responsibility, take charge. He said, okay, I got that. He said, but sometimes the White House calls over here and asks us to do things. What am I going to do if they do that? He said, Rule 14. He said, I know you don't know what that is. Do right. So those 2 phrases became General Schwarzkopf's watchwords. Take charge and do right. Whatever role you play, whatever you do in your community, in your job, in your church, or your other place of worship, take charge, but do right. That's the second point of the torch. Overcome adversity. After retiring from the Dougherty County School System as superintendent, I decided to take it easy and teach a class up at the university. So I signed up to teach a class. They said, we need you to take 1 more. So I took 1 more. I found out that the people teaching 3 classes were getting full-time pay. 2 classes, $4,800 part-time pay. Now, I'm a reasonably intelligent person. I soon figured out, add 1 more class and shoot up that ladder. So I became a full-time professor. And they said, well, the department head just left. How'd you like to take that? I took that too. And after a few months, they said, the dean's leaving. How'd you like? I said, I'll take it. They said, you need to start tomorrow. I said, wait a minute. Then I thought about Rule 13, Rule 14, so I took it. And as I sat down at the dean's desk admiring how great I art, I opened the desk drawer, and there were 3 envelopes numbered 1, 2, and 3, and a sticky note said, "Congratulations and condolences. You're going to encounter a little turbulence. Fasten your seatbelt, but open these notes in sequence if crises arise." The next day, I found out that we were about to face National Council of Teacher Education accreditation in about 3 months. I panicked. I opened note number 1. It said, "Blame it on the faculty." So I called a faculty meeting and let them know that if we didn't get our certification renewed, it was going to be their fault, and I was going to make it public that it was their fault that we didn't do what we were supposed to do. Things got better. We got a year's extension. We became prepared for the next year in accreditation. In the fall, under this new dean, new sheriff in town, the Board of Regents said, "Your pass rate on the teacher certification test is entirely too low. Do something about it or we're going to cut it out." I opened note number 2. It said, "Blame it on the students." I called all the students together in the College of Education. I said, "You're the reason we're getting these nasty letters from the Board of Regents. If you don't shape up, we're going to expel every single one of you tomorrow." Things got better. Teacher certification test scores went up. And I really was singing how great our art by then. Another crisis came of a financial nature. The Board of Regents was cutting back, and the state was cutting back even more than that. So I snatched open note number 3. It said, "Write 3 notes." It has to take time to travel around the room. But when you get it, just laugh out loud at you. You understand? No, in all reality, we were able to work together, not just College of Education faculty and staff, but also arts and sciences, also the students, also the clerical head. Everybody worked together to make sure we got our accreditation restored. We overcame adversity by proving that none of us is as smart as all of us, no matter what the rank or position, and that we can do well if we try. The other case of overcoming adversity, I came to Albany State at 16 years old in 1964. Do the math, I'm 67 now. And I was a pretty smart boy. Established a reputation pretty quickly as being, for professors, somebody you don't want to mess with. You don't want to challenge him in class because he reads 2 or 3 chapters ahead at night. And then I encountered an icon named Dr. Julian T. Houston. He gave the author of the book an A because he did get a book written. He gave himself a B because he did have a class to teach. And if you do your utmost, you'll probably get a C. So under that pressure, I panicked. He gave us a blue book to write the test answers in. And I just wrote and wrote and wrote. And I wrote so much until I felt like I was gonna lose it. And then I went outside, and it occurred to me that I wasn't as smart as I thought I was. It occurred to me that, I may not be cut out for college. So I started to compose a letter in my head. I was walking down Hazard Drive, it's called College Drive now, and McIntosh Hall, the men's dorm, was at the end of the College Drive, Hazard Drive. And I was saying in my mind, "Dear Mama, just took a test, second half of Western civilization. I didn't do good. I don't think I'm cut out for college. I'll be home on the next bus, and we'll try something else. Your loving son, John." And I was walking, feeling the full weight of having not done well. I did better than I thought, by the way, on that test. So I was kind of dragging it, going down Hazard Drive, trying to figure out how to get a stamp to put on the letter to send to my mother. And I heard some singing. I was listening to that beautiful music over here. These folks were jamming a while ago, y'all. I heard some singing in the distance. I couldn't make out the song, but it sounded good. So I started to lend an ear. And as they got a little closer to me because they were meeting me, a group of sorority sisters, it's 1965, were singing that song by the Marvelettes. Don't mess with Bill. Leave my Billy alone. Get a guy of your own. Don't mess with Bill. And I said, that sounds pretty good. So I was humped over and I straightened up a little bit and wanted to make a good appearance because after all, I was about to meet these ladies. And when they got within 10 feet of me, they changed the song and changed the course of history in Albany, Georgia as we know it. Those angels started singing, Don't Mess with John. Leave my Johnny alone. Get a guy of your own. Don't mess with John. I started to recompose my letter. Dear Mama, I was going to write you a letter saying I'd be home on the next bus. But something just happened to make me know I do belong in college. It's going to be all right. I won't be on the next bus. As a matter of fact, I might not come home to Christmas. Those young ladies will forever be etched in my mind as inspiration and motivation of how you overcome adversity. Sing a song or think about somebody who inspired you. I won't name the sorority because my attorney has told me that you have a right to remain silent. Torch point number 4, reclaim your health. Now, I look around the room and I can tell by the presence or the grayness of hair that I'm talking to the right people. One of my former colleagues, Dr. Robert Freeman, was an outstanding superintendent in the DeKalb County school system. They've got a building named after him, that administration building on Stone Mountain Freeway is named after Dr. Robert Freeman. But he was telling a story about longevity and how his grandfather lived to be 95 years old. And at the end, the family got together around his bed and he called them in one by one. And he called little Bobby and he said, Bobby, my time ain't long. Want you to know I'm 95 years old. And I don't have any enemy in the world. He said, Granddaddy, that's good. Outlived every one of their SOBs. If you want to make your enemies mad, live a long, happy life. That will tick them off. Rest, exercise, take your Geritol, take your doctor visits, get things checked that need to be checked. Some of them for men, some of them for women, some of them for all of us. Live a healthy, long life, and that'll get even with every enemy you got, and you'll probably outlive them too. We take care, we educated people, we take care of everybody. Our aging parents, our siblings, our spouses, our children, folk in the community that don't have anybody else. We look out for everybody but ourselves. Time out from that. Take care of yourself. We need you here for the long haul. You won't remember to do this because you'll be uncomfortable while I'm saying it, and then you'll forget about it unless I inject something that makes you remember to take care of your health. And here it is. Being a veteran of a colonoscopy back in October, a church member wanted me to go with him because he was very anxious about this now. And so I went with him, and we were sitting in the waiting room, and I noticed he was just anxious. So people were coming out, relatives, with bags of clothes. He said, I should have brought some more clothes. I said, why? He said, these people sending them clothes out, they must have had some more clothes to put on back there. I said, no. I said, they've got a gown that they gonna put on you. He said, a gown? I said, yeah. I said, it's open in the back. Why do you think they call this I see you? Monday morning, you're going to think about that, and you're going to get the checks done that need to be checked. And if you don't, I see you. Get your health taken care of. Number 5, reclaim moral authority. We went to see the movie Selma, and then on March 8th, 2015, my wife and daughter and I and 80,000 of our brand new friends marched across the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma. It was such a moving experience. And it's one of those times where you don't want it to end, you don't want to leave, you want to stay on that sacred ground. And I have to tell you the way I felt right then. I recorded it in my mind on my hard drive up there because I wanted to be able to tell you how I felt. I said, you know, those folk, without any of the resources and comforts we have today, took a chance on marching across that bridge, and they were beaten, they were trampled with horses, and they kept coming back because they believed that if you assert the moral authority, you can get things done. How did it work out? We wound up with the Voting Rights Act because of what those people did on that bridge. Everybody in the world knew that they were right and the people on horseback and with the club were wrong, and we had enough moral authority to move the U.S. Congress to pass the Voting Rights Act. Then, in Albany in 1961, Dr. King and the protesters learned how to protest in Albany. They learned how to resist nonviolently in Albany, Georgia. They went to Birmingham in 1963. They were sicked on by dogs, sprayed with fire hoses, beaten, jailed, and the whole world again knew that they were right. And the people with the fire hoses and the dogs were wrong. And they propelled the U.S. Congress in 1964 to pass the Civil Rights Act. We don't have enough moral authority today to keep the Voting Rights Act. There are all kinds of attacks made on voting right now. And the only way we're going to get it back is to reclaim the moral authority. We got to have the utmost of personal and professional integrity in everything that we do. I was humming in my mind as we crossed that bridge the song that John Legend and Common won an Oscar for from the movie Selma, When the Glory Comes. And I was just thinking, why won't the glory come again? Because we won't let it. We're killing, we're stealing, we're doing drugs, we're doing all manner of evil. We won't get the glory back until we reclaim the moral authority. Let's reclaim it today. And finally, never give up. After all of that excitement about don't mess with John and making a B in Dr. Houston's class, the people who made A's were like Heisman Trophy winners. There were about 4 or 5 of them in the whole world who made A's from Dr. Houston. But I made a B, and everything was going so well spring quarter until I was beginning to feel almost like I was the dean around here. So I walked into registration. They said, we got good news and bad news. The good news is you can register. The bad news is your loan's been cut and you got to come up with $65. So I appealed all the way to the president's office. The president said, why don't you call home and tell them to send you $65? I said, 2 things, Mr. President. We don't have a telephone. And if we did, I took all the money when I left the house. He said, I don't know what we're going to do. It might as well have been $6,500. So I called my mother. Called next door, they went and got her. I said, Mama, I look like I'm not going to be able to register. They need $65. She said, do you have any money? I said, I got all you gave me because they wouldn't take it. She said, well, come on home. We'll think of something. So I went home and stayed about 2 days. My mother came in one morning and said, take a bath, put on your best clothes. We go into First National Bank of Walton County. I started to get my ski mask because we didn't have any money at the First National Bank of Walton County. So she told the man, my son needs to go back to college at Albany State College. I need to borrow $100. He said, okay, your credit's good, but we need some collateral. She said, what is that? We need something that we can sell, so if you don't pay us back, we can get our money back. How about a car? No car. House? No house. Do you have $100 of furniture? Furniture is not worth $100. Well, what are you going to do, man? She said, I'm going to use him as collateral. The man said, do what? And I said, do what? She said, he's going to be a teacher if y'all let him go back to school. And if I don't live to pay the money, he'll pay it when he gets a job. The man counted out 5 $20 bills. I came back to Albany State College and graduated on time. My mother believed that God will make a way out of no way. If someone slams the door in your face, climb in through the window. Don't let a little adversity stop you. Never, never give up. And that takes us to how do you end this? I began talking about our Irish president, John F. Kennedy. So I end with an Irish blessing in honor of his Irish heritage. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold each and every one of you in the palms of his hands. Dr. Dunning and President Ricks, the torch is passed. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Dr. Culbreath, I'll tell you, I don't worry about what I did now because you brought such a profound message. I don't think they remember anything about me. I really, really enjoyed that. We have a selection coming now from the, no we don't. They're not ready yet? They're gone. Okay, we'll move forward then. We have a presentation by Ms. Jean Lynn.
On behalf of such a wonderful, motivating speech, I would like to present to Dr. John Culbreath for serving such a wonderful Founders Day lunch, April the 3rd, 2015. Joyce Ricks, President. Thank you, Dr. Culbreath.
Thank you.
You did a wonderful job.
Come out in front of the podium.
Acknowledgements, announcements. No, I'm sorry. Tell you everything is going wrong. This is Mrs. Lucy Dunn. Ms. Lucy Dunn, would you come up and do the acknowledgement and announcement?
I am not Mrs. Lucy Dunn, as you probably know. There is method to madness sometimes when you're trying to assist a committee in preparing a program. So there was some madness to me when I jokingly said I wanted the best speaker, and my treasurer said, nah, and can't you get the second best? And he said, nah. I said, well, I know that we have an alum amongst us who is a great speaker, and we got him today. So thank you, Dr. Culbreath, for your inspiring and humorous and realistic reminder to us. At this point in time, I'm going to ask Interim President Dunning to come forward. The Board of Directors of Albany State University National Alumni Association met on yesterday. And we are committed as alumni as part of the leadership of alumni to our alma mater. That being said, I am here to present to you from the association to the foundation a $5,000 check for the band. Also, because we understand need-based and merit-based scholarship efforts here at Albany State University, we are pleased to present a scholarship check in the amount of $2,860.
Mr. Ricks, you have exceeded our expectations. First of all, I thank you for your leadership, and thank you for what you do. This will be used for our students. And I see Mr. DeQueer out there. He has visions of going out to Pasadena in style. And so this is going to help. But the merit-based scholarship, back to what Dr. Culbreath talked about, we want those students who can come here and benefit and succeed, and to leave here with a good academic experience, and this will help them not have a lot of debt when they leave here. So, Ms. Ricks, we deeply thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Now you see why I let Madam Ricks get in front of me to do some acknowledgments. The happier person is one that acknowledges and accepts life won't get any better than this. We can truly say that our lives have not been better, but they have been best because of our program today, and especially the man from Monroe, Georgia, Dr. Culbreath. Thanks to all of the other participants on the program, and we certainly want to thank those persons who were in charge, the committee persons, the musicians, the hosts and hostesses for this, and we're certainly happy to see the family of Joseph Holley. Mike and Ann, we're happy to see you present today. Thank you. The announcements, the business session of the National Alumni Association will be in Peace Hall immediately following this luncheon in room 127. Fish fry, I remind you, at 6 o'clock. Please save the dates for May 29th for the Coach White roast, May 30th for the roast at Doublegate. Also for the June planning meeting in Columbus, Georgia, June 24th through the 27th. Ms. Jean, right? Okay. And then for the Hall of Fame, October 30th. We thank you very kindly again for your presence today, and do have a wonderful day. Please continue to join us as we celebrate our 112 years, one path, one present, one ASU. Thank you.
You have to chalk up some of my errors to having graduated in 1961. You do the math and they'll tell you how long I've been out of here. That's not like yesterday. We'll next have remarks by Michael DeCure. Then we'll have the benediction by Mr. Willie Wingfield and the alma mater. I'll get away from up here. That's the last time you'll see me. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all very much. Thank you for allowing me to express to all of you how much we deeply appreciate. One of the easiest things for me to do as I walk this earth is to talk about Albany State. And I will bore you. I will ask my wife. But I just want you to know a couple of things. This university means so much to my family. My children graduated from here, and they're both doing well. Well, two of them, they're doing very, very, very well. One is in graduate school at Florida State right now, and the other is an intake nurse at an emergency room in Tampa, Florida. So this school means I'm a cancer survivor. Dr. T. Marshall Jones and I. No, I just want you to know, had I not come to Albany, I may not be here. I may not be realizing that dream. To Mr. and Mrs. Matheson, thank you so much. Mike was saying last night, he said, you know, we were worried about you. We went to Pasadena right after Christmas because I was so quiet, Dr. Trimmins and I, because we were worried, oh my God, how are we gonna do this? But because of you and your kindness and the hospitality you guys showed us, all of us in Pasadena, we feel so much better. And I feel now like we can do this. We can get our band to Pasadena. And finally, I want you all to know, you come to me, you tell me how good the band sounds, and I appreciate that, but you all need to, Dr. Trimmins, he's sitting back over that way. He's the guy that works the band in the inside, so you need to tell him that you think they sound good, and I appreciate you, Dr. Trimmins. And those are two band members who are playing with us. And then my co-worker, Joel Johnson, who is so supportive and a superb guitarist. You know, we had Fred Wesley from the James Brown Band here a couple of weeks ago in support of our band going to Tournament Roses. Well, Joel was responsible for getting Fred here. So I can go on, and this is a great community. This is where my wife and I, we decided my children didn't like it too much, but we decided this is gonna be it for us. This is where we're gonna live, retire, maybe be buried here. You meet so many wonderful people. And let me leave you with this. A friend of mine said that your degree of civilization is not how much technology you have or you know what we call book learning. It's your hospitality. And I think that we show visitors like the Mr. and Mrs. Matheson and people who visit us, I think we show them just how civilized this area is, because we are hospitable. We are good people, and I love you all very, very much. Thank you for the support. We're gonna get to Pasadena. Thank you all very much.
Before we have the benediction to be led by the Vice President, I wanted to take this opportunity to again thank you for your presence and your support of the Albany State University National Alumni Association. More importantly, as you depart, I want you to leave with more than appreciation of our heritage as an institution and an HBCU, but the critical need for you to actively participate not only in this commemorative activity, but to fully embrace this year's Founders Day theme, One Past, One Future, One ASU. Fortify this significant institution by investing your time, your network of associates and influential individuals, your obvious success within your occupational category, and an increased commitment of your financial resources to Albany State University. The students need you. As a comment, the proposed meeting of chapter presidents that was tentatively scheduled for 7:00 p.m. today has been canceled. Vice President Wingfield, if you will come with the benediction.
Teachers